All right, the state of Hawaii is now setting up a $150 million relief fund for the Maui wildfire victims as we mark 3 months since the deadly tragedy in Lahaina.
Participation in the Maui Recovery Fund will be completely voluntary, and the goal is to get as much money as possible to affected families as quickly as possible, cutting out delays and eliminating uncertainty.
Here to react, Hawaii State Representative Diamond Garcia. Diamond, great to have you on the program. I actually have a ton of questions in trying to understand this fund. It's being reported it's a $150 million fund. I've also seen reports that victims could receive up to $1 million each. But that math doesn't add up for me. I know there was 15,000 people in Lahaina, 80% of whom have lost their homes. You know, the math doesn't add up for me. How does this work out for everyone who was a victim of this fire?
Well, good morning, Will, and thanks for the questions. Yeah, first of all, the governor mentioned that those who would be eligible for this fund would be those who lost their family members and or were seriously injured by the fires themselves. So this wouldn't apply to those who were perhaps renters or lost their property, but this was those who lost life, lost family, and they would qualify for this fund.
Oh, I see. And I believe, Diamond, you may have the numbers more updated than I do. The last I heard, the number of dead was around 100, right? So that's where you can get to the $1 million number for these victims. So that makes sense. But also, if you accept this money, then the understanding is then you have basically signed away your ability to sue or to seek damages from anyone who's held responsible for the fire.
Yes. And so that's the contingency with that. If you take this funding, you cannot sue the state, the county, Hawaiian Electric, or Kamehameha Schools, the prominent landowner in that area. So lots of locals on the ground are saying, you know, this sounds like hush money. I mean, why are there strings attached to it? If they were in the wrong, pay us out, but why strings attached? So that raises lots of questions in the minds of local families. And so I've been hearing so far, but also there are those here locally who say this is a great plan, a step forward in the right direction.
Yeah, I would imagine the reason for those who might be pleased with it is it would be fast-tracked as compared to a lawsuit. So you're telling me there's a bit of a mixed reaction within the community as to whether or not this fund is something that they should choose to participate in?
Yes, there is.
Yeah. So I want to ask you as well about housing. So, you know, I happen to know as well that over the last couple of months, we're approaching 3 months, many of the people who lost their homes have been staying in hotels and resorts on, for example, Kaanapali Beach, which is right next to Lahaina. There are not many options for someone who lost their home in Lahaina where they can live. And those hotel stays are coming to an end. I believe there's a sit-in this weekend actually taking place in Kaanapali. What is the current plan? Where are people going to live? What have they been provided for, I guess we'll call it medium-term housing?
Yeah, sure. So as of right now, the governor did say that people won't be removed from hotel rooms, but the mayor of Maui County and the governor's office is encouraging people who are currently in hotel rooms to seek host families or temporary homes for now. And it seems like, you know, they're trying to wean them away from the hotels while West Maui is opened up again for tourism, full blown. So lots of the locals right now are not happy about that. They feel that you know, they're being pushed out of hotel rooms so that tourists can occupy them when they're trying to grieve right now, process the whole thing, and figure out exactly what comes next for them.
But is there another plan? I mean, does the county of Maui, the state of Hawaii, have another plan for where these people can live until hopefully, by the way, their land is cleared and they can rebuild in Lahaina?
Yes, so right now the state and county governments have formed plans, and that would be some temporary housing. They're currently looking at building physical homes right now, but the focus right now for those families is sifting through what's left, removing the debris, and trying to figure out what kind of compensation they are due from their insurance or state agencies. And so that's currently the focus right now. But yes, there are plans for housing, and the governor does have plans to build temporary housing for for now.
That's good. Hopefully that's up sooner than later, because I know it's a catch-22. You got to get the tourists back in order to get the economy back, you know, and at the same time, the tourists need the housing that the locals need as well. So it's a difficult situation where you want to have a home, a job, and rebuild your life there in West Maui. Diamond Garcia, thank you so much.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.